Hey everybody, here it is. I know we're going a little bit late tonight, so a lot of you are probably going to catch this on the replay if you catch it. So please give me a hashtag replay to make sure everybody gets the opportunity to be able to view the video, or at least give them the best opportunity to be able to see the information that's in here. If you're watching live, give me a hashtag live. The more likes and comments that we get on this video, the more likely that everybody's going to be able to get to see it. If you have questions, don't be afraid to ask. I'm going to try and answer most of the questions toward the end. Especially if I'm going to be answering the question over the course of the video. But please click on the link in the description and give StreamYard the opportunity to be able to view who it is that's answering the question so I can display them across the screen for everybody. So the topic today is funnels. What exactly is a funnel? There's a couple of different ways to go about answering the question, but in its basic form, a funnel is a model of the customer journey from prospect to purchase. So from getting somebody's attention, becoming the prospect, all the way through the time that they make a purchase and actually become a customer, right? Funnels have some things in common. They're all consistent, planned, and measurable. If they're set up properly, every time you bring somebody through the funnel, they're going to come through in a very consistent manner. They're going to receive the same information, the same offer, the same order, at the same pitch, tone, and therefore you have the same likelihood of being able to get consistent results. Without that consistency, you can't have a measurable process. The planned process is making sure that we have not a haphazard presentation. We have a very, very specific order in the way that things are done, and there's a reason for the order that things are done. And of course, the measurability. We want to be able to look through and see when we use this process in this way with this tone of voice, everything kind of comes into play here. We can change one thing in that funnel consistently for 10, 20, 100,000 customers, and that we can compare that data to the control that we had when we do it this way, we change a thing and we do it this way, and we're able to see what the differences are in those results. Now, funnels have different stages. We have the top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and the bottom of the funnel, right? The top of the funnel is about traffic. We want to gain attention, create curiosity, and push people to the next step in the funnel. This is typically going to be very, very cold prospects, cold traffic. They haven't seen you before, heard of you before. They maybe don't know anything about your products. You have absolutely zero relationship with the people that are stepping into the top of the funnel, right? So these are going to be things like that you've created, different things like that. Yep, sorry, just realized I'm not sharing the screen here. So top of the funnel is, as we can see right here for traffic. There's zero relationship with these people. They've come in from ads. They're viewing some content that you've created, whether it's on YouTube, podcast. They stumble on your Facebook group and decided to join because it's within the niche that they're working in or want to look at. So this is all about the initial contact, right? We want to create that know factor. People buy when they know, like, and trust. So the top of the funnel is the know factor. They want to get to know you. Now, these things can come from a few different spots. There's three types of traffic. There's traffic we own, traffic we buy, traffic we control. The traffic that we own is going to come from things like email lists and chat bots. The traffic we buy, those are going to be things like Facebook ads, Facebook post boosts, Google AdWords, cost per click, content creation, putting things up on YouTube, podcasts, those type of things where we're taking out ads that get in front of probably somebody else's audience. And then there's content that we control. The content that we control are going to be things like joint ventures, where we have a deal with an influencer to put us in front of their traffic, to kind of divert their traffic into our funnel, where we can then hopefully convert that traffic enough to be able to own the traffic from that point. Facebook groups. Facebook groups are traffic that we control because we don't own that Zuckerberg has control of where all of that stuff goes. Ultimately, it's his traffic. He owns it. Facebook owns it. But we have the ability to actually control some of that traffic up until the point where they're in a place that we can have direct contact with somebody with the email list or chatbots. Now it's a little bit closer to owned traffic than controlled traffic, but ultimately, if the algorithm changes or things move, Facebook group, you don't have direct control over it, right? You don't have that list of leads. You couldn't contact them outside of Facebook without being able to own it. So that's kind of the differentiating factor there. So now there's two ways to be able to get traffic, right? We can earn our traffic, and we do that through things like content marketing, YouTube, search engine optimization, doing interviews, joint ventures, affiliate programs, and then there's traffic that we buy. We Facebook ads, Facebook post boost, Google AdWords, cost per click. Either way, all of this stuff gets just dumped right into the top of our funnel here, and then we're attempting to warm them up. Notice how it's getting more red hot as we go down the funnel. We want to warm them up and push them into the next step of our funnel. The middle step of the funnel, this is the place where they're consistently viewing contact. Your prospects are going to be gathering information. They're going to start establishing a relationship with you, whether you're communicating through DM, they're communicating in other forms, they're watching sales videos, interacting with things like your website. At this point, they're trying to determine if the solution you have is actually going to solve their problem. Now, this is going to be warm prospects, warm traffic. It's going to kind of the start of your follow-up plan, and you're trying to establish the likability factor, right? So know at the top, like in the middle. Hopefully, we're going to get them down to the trust level, which is going to come in the next step. But in this level, they're going to typically do things like you're going to make them a small offer that's easy to say yes to, whether it's a free piece of content, free guide, something. And typically, we're going to do something in exchange for an email address, to the point where we're attempting to push them to becoming owned traffic. We're trying to move them away from needing to contact them through another medium, needing to contact them from a controlled source or a purchase source into an owned source. So we don't have to do ad spend or continue to work any affiliate deals or relationships in order to put an offer in front of that traffic, right? If they like us enough, they're going to exchange that content for an email address or other contact information where we can directly connect and contact with them. Finally, we come down to the money portion of the funnel. This is where we already own the traffic, and we're going to make them an offer. Our job in this part of the funnel is to establish enough trust and create an offer that's juicy enough that they almost can't say no to it. We're going to make an offer and get them to complete the purchase. These are hot prospects. These are prospects that have already opted into receiving information from us. We've given them some type of value. We've either given them something for free or made a small offer, whether it's $7, $10, $20, $30, where they've made a small purchase from us, which technically pushes them out the bottom of the funnel. But in a lot of cases, we still have some more work to do in order to push them up our value ladder from that point, right? We send them down the funnel, up the ladder. And we have to get them to the bottom of the funnel before we can start really sending them up the value ladder. We're actively looking to help them make a purchase. This is the point where they change from a prospect into a buyer once they've actually established that purchase with us. So typically in a funnel, we're going to exchange that piece of information to convert them into own traffic. And then we're going to immediately make them an offer to attempt to get them to convert into a buyer. But some of that has to do with the value of the information that we give away in the free portion of the funnel. We're either going to be giving away product samples. We call these things a lead magnet, right? We're trying to gain a lead magnetically. We want to attract them to us so that we can start pitching them and making a sale. And we're going to try out some different hooks here and see exactly what's going to work, what's going to convert them into that purchasing customer. And then once they're in a purchasing customer, we can start setting up the value ladder. We start with the small offer, we step them up to another offer, we step them up to another offer, which are all related but non-competing things that go up throughout the course of the sales cycle. So hopefully, if you've done your job correctly in the middle part of the funnel, in the lead collection portion of this funnel, we're going to have an email address where we can, or a phone number, or a way of directly connecting where we can continuously make them the offer after the first pitch. They may have said no to the first pitch, but that doesn't mean that they don't necessarily want to buy. They might not be interested at the right time. They might not have that trust factor established enough. So we're going to keep them in the cycle, and we're going to keep establishing that likability factor and provide them continuous value until the point where they trust us enough to actually make the initial purchase. And provided we don't do anything to destroy that trust, walking them up the value ladder for things that they actually need is going to be key. It's way easier to walk them up the value ladder once they've said yes to a small offer. They hop up another offer. Typically, if your value ladders aren't converting, either it's not complementary, it's doing the customers feel that it's the exact same thing they already purchased down here and that's taken care of, or your step up the value ladder is way too high. You can't go from a $7 purchase to a $5,000 purchase. You have to step them up to it. And there's not necessarily a limit to the number of steps that you have, but a lot of times it's a good 4 or 5 steps. The higher ticket the end of your value ladder is, the more things need to be in between that complement and build up the trust for them to purchase up in that range. So in order to have a funnel, you absolutely need a plan. If you don't plan a sales funnel, you're haphazardly prospecting, throwing caution to the wind. You probably don't have a follow-up plan to be able to pitch the people again that didn't take the pitch the first time. You probably don't have a plan to step them up your value ladder. You need to systemize your business in terms of making sure that everything is done the same way in an almost cookie cutter approach that you find that works, that you can tweak to get higher conversions from section to section to section within your sales process. Now, this doesn't matter whether it's online, in person, brick and mortar. If you're a salesperson in a car dealership, you detail cars, you work in a hair salon, you do real estate, you're a health coach. It doesn't matter. You're going to need to systemize in order to scale. Also, without systemizing, you become the entirety of your business. Something happens to you, hopefully it doesn't, but if something were to ever happen to you, you're unable to fulfill that portion of your business and that consistency, and your business is going to suffer. Your sales don't convert, your prospecting doesn't happen with the progress that you made, and you don't want to do that. But also, as you grow, you personally can only handle so many clients at a time. So that limits the rate of growth that you can have in your business. If the top of your funnel, right, we think about it just like a cooking funnel. We have a really wide spot at the top, and it narrows down, and we have everybody looking at the ads. A certain percentage of them convert into leads, and then a certain percentage of them convert into actual sales, and they become smaller and smaller as they go down. But the wider your funnel is at the top, the wider the middle, the wider the bottom, right? It's all proportional because we systemized, and we know that when we advertise and we take the top of the funnel, we can get 10 to 30% of the people that put eyes on our advertisement and content may actually enter to the next step of the funnel. So we're going from 100% to 30%, and then of that 30%, maybe 10 or 20% are going to move from that middle section. And then once you're in the bottom, you might have 5, 10, 20% that are converting at the bottom. So the more we can shove in the top, the more comes out the bottom. But if you're the business, there's no system in place to put wider amounts of prospects into the top of that funnel. Your business is only ever going to grow at the rate of clients that you can actually stick into the top of the funnel, or I'm sorry, the potential prospects that you can put in the top of that funnel. So we need to systemize, and we do that by putting these processes in place. Once we put those processes in place and have a system, we can automate. And why would we want to automate? Because when things are automated, things happen without your intervention. You get to a point where you're not having to deal with all of the non-profitable portion of prospecting. Things that we can and should automate include things like capturing leads, priming prospects to buy, the offer process, the actual sale, and things like recruitment. We can automate 90% of the things in each one of those processes, where we probably are only needing to be involved in the end. But what shouldn't we automate? The things we do not want to automate are things like social interaction, person to person. You don't want people to feel like they're dealing with a robot. You need to be behind the scenes, and either you or a virtual assistant or a team member, an employee, somebody behind social interaction directly face-to-face with people. We don't want to automate the answering of questions. We definitely don't want to automate customer service issues. I mean, how much do you hate it when you call a big place like the cable company or your cell phone provider, and you get the automated menu and it never gets you where you want to go, and you feel like you're running in circles and already frustrated? Why would you want to automate customer service? You want that personal touch. You want your prospects or your customers to really feel like they're being listened to, get valuable responses where they feel validated and then taken care of. And then we also don't want to automate anything where there's a custom solution involved. If you have a product that's custom tailored to each individual purchasing situation, where a very specific quote is required, where most customers are not going to have the same quote, even in similar circumstances, you don't want to automate that, because that's going to be very, very bad. But if we automate everything leading up to that, you're freeing up all of that non-productive time to get to the point where you can create that custom solution. And here's where the value of automation really comes in. It's going to provide you the most consistent process. If you're having a bad day, your tone of voice isn't right, you're really not feeling it, and you're not being open or out there or in a good mood as you seem, and you're not projecting your best self, I mean, that really can damage your possibility of converting in a lot of instances. So we create the funnel where we capture your best self, but also in your business, chances are really good the best salesperson for your business is going to be you. So we're going to clone you, automate you, and allow you to handle a lot of that portion of the process, to step consistently through the processes. The consistent process can be measured and it can be tweaked. So if you find something in your process isn't working, you don't have to roll it out to a whole team. You roll that out to the automated process. The automated process never messes up, never misses upsell opportunities, never forgets to ask about certain options, unless, of course, you forget to do it when you set up the automation. But again, you forget that, we tweak it a little bit, we send it back out, and things automate. But and that's the key, because with automation, the magic can happen even while you sleep. You ever see the movie Multiplicity, where he just makes copies of himself and he has him going about and doing all these random things? It's a similar thing with the business, only they can't develop a mind of their own and create all the problems that happen within that movie. You only have to physically deal with hot prospects or value-driven portions of your process. So you need that little personal touch to deliver that extra value, answer questions people still aren't sure, and take that little extra step and finally initiate that close. But you're going to be doing it with people who are already to the point where they've bought into the concept that your product works for them, they can use it. We're probably in the point where we have the vehicle objection overcome, or possibly the external objection overcome, or maybe the internal objection overcome. Two of those three things typically, and they're teetering right on that fence, and you just need to kind of give them a little tug and pull them to your side. It's going to minimize waste of your time, and best of all, by automating this portion of the process, all of the early rejection that you experience in your recruitment efforts, in your prospecting efforts, in just getting eyeballs where you're offering and told no, and then you finally get that yes. Those yeses for the whatever portion that leads up to the point where you need to customize are the only things that you hear. Those are the only things that come through the funnel where you need to specifically deal with them. They've said yes to some of these objections. They said, yes, I believe in the product, or yes, I believe I can use this product, or yes, I believe that the product can solve my problem, or yes, I believe I can afford this product. And we just need to give them that little tug off the fence. Another great thing about using automation is you're going to get a higher average purchase value. How many times do you know that this is part of the process, but you feel a little bit funny? You sold them a $7 product, and you feel a little funny trying to add a $50 product onto the end. I know when I was doing sales with cell phones, we'd sell them this phone, and in a lot of cases back then, the phones were practically being given away with the contracts. So you'd sell them this phone that was free, and then you pitch them insurance, and you pitch them extra data, and you pitch them a car charger, a case, all of this stuff where the actual cost of many of these things really far exceeded the cost of the base product that you were giving away. And sometimes when you knew that person was coming because the product was free, because price commoditized that item, you really felt like, man, I'm going to pitch this, and I feel like kind of a jerk. Just, hey, do you want a car charger? Do you want this case? Do you want this? But really, those upsells and ads, people aren't thinking about those things in terms of, you're thinking about those things in terms of we're adding cost to it. But when you're automating, you have the time to have a level head and really say, why would this customer want a case? And then you position the case, position the car charger, position the insurance in a way that they would almost feel silly not taking them, because that maybe this phone was free, but if we have to replace it, it's $200. The insurance would give me the ability to make a replacement on this easy, but it's going to cost money, or it can buy this $10 or $20 case, and that's going to protect the longevity of the phone, or maybe it's going to protect it against things like screen scratching, things that my insurance isn't, seems like maybe it would be a waste, or, I want to be able to use my phone everywhere. So I need that car charger so I can make sure that I have it for communication when I need it. Just as an example. And I mean, it doesn't have to be this specific situation. You get a mortgage, and a lot of times they offer insurance against if you get sick, lose a job, or you're unable to work, things like that. There's an insurance that covers part of that, or you have for this or that you might sell that have different riders that go on. You might have to cover different portions of your house when you take out your homeowner's insurance. They might say, everything's here, but it's not protected against a flood. Do you live in a flood zone? Is this something you should be offering to everybody? Those types of things. It could be anything. It could be maybe you run an auto detailing shop, and you're pulling people in with the idea of a basic detail, which is just taking a vacuum, giving the inside a quick wipe down, and sending them on their way. When really it would be pretty easy to add a car wash. And then when you add the car wash, that creates a new problem, because now they have this nice clean surface that they're going to want to protect. So a wax seems like a really good idea, and maybe cleaning the windows, treating the rubber, making the tires shine. You're walking them up that value ladder, because there can be individual value ladders within single purchases in the point where we have a product, and that product creates a problem, and we have all these little pieces that we want to be able to pitch along the way. Some of them we might throw in to kind of make it to sweeten the deal, and then some of them we might have as little bumps to that offer, right? And then once they're up on this little spot of the value ladder, we pop these bumps up the value ladder, and suddenly a product that we took for free, now they've had all these little bumps and they're spending $40, $50 coming out. So you're kind of really on par with about that next step in your value ladder. Say, hey, you know what, you just spent $50, $75. Here's all this really cool other stuff. And then, oh, but only $25 more for $100. And you step them up through related but workable products. So you're going to, if plain and simple, if you don't offer these extra pieces, they can't buy. So just like the funnel, it's kind of similar to a funnel, right? You're going to put a certain amount of people are going to actually buy your base offer. So 100% of the people that, and we're going to dump that 100% of those people into the top of a new funnel. So you're saying 100% those people bought. Of that, 50% want a car charger and a case. Of the people who bought the base offer, certain percentage are going to buy that order bump. That increases the ticket value. A certain number of people that bought the base offer, that bought the order bump, are going to buy the next step in your value ladder. It's going to be a lower percentage. Maybe it's going to be 30% or 20%, to the point where you finally get to the top of your value ladder, and maybe it's only a 1% purchase rate at the top of your value ladder, which it seems like it would be horrible. But if you look in terms of what the average value is going to be up at the top of that value ladder, excuse me, you've gone from a free offer at the bottom, where your average purchase value is zero on the front side, and we're not even discussing the back side of any potential offer, or maybe say it's $20 and you have a very thin margin on that. Every percentage that purchases the next step of that offer is money you didn't have to put into advertising, retargeting, reach out efforts. Your salespeople don't have to individually reach out and do that. You're stepping them up automatically within your funneling process. And so if only 10% of the people that took that next offer took the next step in your value ladder, you're still increasing your profit. Otherwise, you're going to have to reach out with advertisements if you don't own that traffic, or you're going to have to reach out with email messages, which have a much lower conversion rate than initially your right here that offer's already right in front of them, and that value is going to go down. But if you can break even, at minimum, break even on the bottom step of your funnel, covers all of your advertisement costs, all of your prospecting costs, to the point where you own that traffic, it's going to take very little to start stepping people up, to make them additional offers, to start stepping them through that funnel. So you've paid off all of your advertising costs, all of your control costs, to start owning that traffic and push them up the value ladder. So now, even if you're email advertising and you only got a 1% open rate on your emails, 1% converted, you're still money ahead, because you can continuously start taking that money and dumping it back into advertising that gives you a break even, and still propel your business upwards. And now the advertisements, not every business is right for direct advertising. Some businesses don't thrive very well doing it. Others thrive amazing doing it. But it all comes down to being able to gain the attention. You might do that through content, but it's still going to cost time and effort to pull people into the funnel through that content. And again, a lot of times the content that we put out is being directed. It's controlled traffic, where it's on another platform that we don't own, that could change at any time. We could spend time on YouTube, make 10,000 videos to pull all of our traffic, and it's where we put all of our focus. And then all of a sudden, I mean, it seems almost unheard of, but maybe YouTube closes. We don't want it to close, but maybe something with the way the search engine optimization in YouTube changes, and we no longer have control of that information. If you're not owning that traffic, you're absolutely stuck. So funneling them into own traffic, pushing them up is definitely what we want to be able to do to get them into a point where we own the traffic, we break even on our acquisition costs, and then we start concentrating on our maintained client base. So that brings us to how do I fit into all of this? What can I do for you, right? My main goal is to help systemize your processes and make them automation ready, make them efficient. A lot of businesses, once they start to use funnels, or they start to turn on advertising that goes to any type of a funnel, whether it's a physical funnel or an online funnel, you name it, they absolutely crumble under success. And it seems backwards, right? You think, oh my gosh, more clients, that's the absolute best thing ever. But there's a certain point where your processes can't handle it anymore. If you can't service those clients because your top of your funnel can't be wide enough because you're the business, there's a point where you just start making people angry because the funnel speed isn't enough. You end up with this bottleneck, and we need to eliminate those bottlenecks. I can help you develop a funnel strategy that's right for your business, regardless of how you choose to implement a funnel. We'll look at the strategy that's right for your business and help you optimize once you have a systemized process. I can help you develop enticing offers for your market. It'll help you separate your products from others in your market. Now, there's a lot of people that are doing affiliate marketing where they're selling the exact same product is 10,000 or 20,000 or 100,000 other people, and that product is exactly the same. People can buy from whomever they like, and they get the same product ultimately, unless you can do something to differentiate yourself from your competition, where you move from swimming in the same ocean that everybody else is casting their hooks into, where they're trying to pull their clients. It's commodity. Lowest price in that point wins, and there's no value in being the second cheapest person in the marketplace. And if you ask me, there's no value in being the cheapest person in the marketplace. Razor thin margins. Anybody could really come along into the process and just undercut you and completely destroy your business strategy. Somebody with little deeper pockets can come through and just undercut, and they can keep you in the red so long that they drive you out of business, and then they can crank the price back up. So you don't want to be the lowest person in the marketplace. You might not want to be the most expensive, although there's a lot to be said to being the most expensive part in the marketplace. We have to figure out exactly where your target is, what you sit in, making an enticing offer that separates you from everyone else. So you're not having to compete on price. You're not having to compete with other people. You're not having to worry about your traffic or your clients being stolen by competition, because there's so much value here in the offers that you make and what separates you from everyone else. They don't want to go anywhere else. They're not even looking over here because they're not concerned about what's over here in this ocean. They've got this nice blue pond to swim in, where there's not 10,000 hooks trying to yank them out of the water, or they don't feel like fish in a barrel. And I can also help you build an automated funnel. So actually, physical automation of the process, physical automation will help you be able to grow, not just in the process that you're involved in, but this is where it starts to get to some value while you sleep. So the leads pull in passively or actively through ads, and start working through your process till the only active portion you need to take in the business are things that are profitable action. The other thing that I can do is I can tweak and monitor your automated funnel performance. So we make these little tweaks and little changes. Now, admittedly, there's kind of an educated guessing process that goes along with automation. Sometimes we need to find that exact thing that resonates with your target, the process that they prefer, or the things that they prefer to do, the way they prefer to be pitched, the platform they prefer to be pitched on. the value that's within the pitch. All of those things are subject to being tweaked, and I can help you move right through all of that information. So if that sounds like something that any of you think that can help you, reach out to me. I would be happy to sit down with you and take a look to see exactly what funnels could potentially do for your business, whether it's an offline funnel or an automated funnel, or you need help maybe building an offer. There's a lot that we can do, and there's a lot that maybe you don't think that we can do. I know some of you right now are sitting like, there's no way an automated process can work for my business. I do MLM, and we're not allowed to automate. We can't pitch in an open forum, or I do affiliate products. I can't automate that process, or I'm a brick and mortar shop. What could I possibly automate? Just reach out to me, because I guarantee you, every business needs a funnel. Every business needs automation. If you sell a product or if you sell a service, funnels can help increase and grow your business. All right, that's all for tonight. I'm going to talk to you guys later. Get off the live. We're going on about 37 minutes now. So I will let you guys to it. You can reach out to the live, or feel free to directly reach out to me. If you guys are watching this through YouTube, you're going to want to take a minute and join a free Facebook group called Digital Marketing and Business for Beginners. Now, it's aimed at beginners, but there's enough value in here where you don't need to be a beginner to pull value out of it, because we take you all the way from that beginner process all the way to growing and scaling your business on up. So I will talk to you guys later. Good night.